Revenge.
Hey everyone, welcome back for a brand new video about the new Black Mirror episode that loves to give you the illusion of control, Bandersnatch. Warning, beyond this point, there are spoilers for people who have not seen the viewer interactive Black Mirror episode, Bandersnatch. If you've selected this video, you wanted to take the long route to the secret ending, as we will cover all of the known endings to Bandersnatch and different decisions you can make for the haunted main character, Stefan Butler. Our first video ended in Stefan properly medicating himself and releasing a middle-of-the-road game, so we'll pick it up from the other option. After looping back from this decision, you get the pill choice again, although if you did follow Colin at the doctor's office, your two options would be to flush the pills or throw them away. After either option, Stefan goes back to work on the game until his delivery date.
How's Bandersnatch going? Oh, good.
He figures out there are still some bugs in the system. Stefan convinces Tucker to extend the deadline. Regardless of your previous choices, Stefan will then receive a tape about Bandersnatch author Jerome F. Davies for inspiration, either directly from Colin or through a TuckerSoft employee.
To inspire you.
Stefan goes home to work on the bugs and decides to play the tape from Colin. Depending on your cereal choice, you see a commercial for that cereal before the documentary starts. Stefan gets a little tripped out by the documentary's monologue about not being in control of your destiny, even hinting at murder, although he keeps working on the game.
Bandersnatch was to prove the final straw. He became obsessed with bizarre symbols and the limitations of his own free will.
Sometime later, Stefan encounters another bug and is given the option to destroy the computer or hit the desk. If you choose to destroy the computer, you get another soft ending as all of Stefan's data is destroyed. Looping back to decide to hit the desk, we can't help feeling bad for the poor guy at this point, and spoiler alert, it only gets worse. Stefan is brought to another somewhat major decision, as he's given the option to look at a family photo or a book about writing adventure games. If you choose the family photo, Stefan seems comforted, but late at night he wakes up and goes to a mirror. If you haven't heard Colin's LSD-fueled rant about mirrors,
Mirrors let you move through time.
then you'll actually break the mirror in one of God knows how many Black Mirror Easter eggs, and the dream's over. If Stefan did trip with Colin, then he's able to pass through the mirror and transforms into a younger version of himself as he sees his dad hiding his rabbit, the same one that holds up his mother and puts her on that ill-fated 8:45 train. Stefan wakes up the next morning and once again the game crashes. Here the viewer has the option to make Stefan throw tea on the computer or destroy the computer. Regardless of what option you choose, Netflix shows you that you don't have as much control as you think when Stefan refuses to do either choice.
No!
In a bizarre fourth wall break, Stefan asks you, the viewer/player, to reveal yourself. At this point, you can choose to reveal to be Netflix or the white bear symbol, which is appropriately prominent throughout this episode, as well as being another Easter egg to a previous Black Mirror episode. If the viewer chooses Netflix, Stefan actually questions what that is, as the technology is too advanced for him to understand.
Don't understand. Oh, I don't understand.
No matter what choice you make, Stefan will reveal to his dad that he's being controlled by someone from the future, which prompts his dad to take him to Dr. Haynes yet again. In a funny conversation, the doctor tries to understand Netflix as Stefan does.
What is Netflix? Is it a planet?
She then asks an appropriate question, why his life isn't more exciting, and asks if he wants more action. No matter what option you choose, in a strange turn of events, Stefan attacks the doctor, who gets into a fighting stance and challenges him to fight. The next choice is whether to fight the doctor or jump out of the window. If Stefan chooses to fight, a dizzying action sequence ensues, and Stefan's dad bursts in like a secret agent. The viewer is given the option to karate chop dad or kick him in the balls, which is amazing, and either choice leads to Stefan being dragged out of the doctor's office, screaming and sounding somewhat insane.
Fuck your day, I'm good and proper anyway!
This is another soft ending, as the story ends here, as Stefan has presumably suffered a mental break. Looping back to the fight or jump out the window choice, choosing jump will get you into the ultimate fourth wall break of all time. All of the action is stopped as the director cuts, and he is revealed to be an actor on set who has just went off script. Stefan doesn't realize what is happening as he stumbled into another reality, and the director calls for a medic, and that's the end. What the f***, people? Exhausting all the options in this timeline will lead you back to the first fourth wall break as Stefan asks for a sign. This time around, choosing the white bear or binary brand symbol will lead us down a dark road. This pretty much pushes Stefan over the edge, as he can't take being controlled by us with no real answers. Here you hit a pretty intense choice. You can either kill Dad or back off. Going easy on Dad leads you to yet another soft ending as Stefan breaks down in his father's arms. This ending may mean the game never got made, but they're still alive at least, right? Looping back, the only option left is to kill Dad, showing us once again we never really had a choice. Thanks, Netflix.
Exit fucking game!
It goes from bad to worse, as the two choices you have left after committing patricide are to bury the body or to chop it up. Seriously? Unfortunately, choosing to chop up the body is somewhat the better decision, as it leads us to what some people consider the most positive of endings. Stefan makes an appointment with his shrink, chops up dear old Dad, and finishes the game. He seems positive and happy, and in another dose of meta, talks to his doctor about how he only gives the player the illusion of choice in his game, kind of like what Netflix is doing to us. As the scene finishes, we see Stefan has really went off the deep end as he's keeping Dad's head for a paperweight, similar to how the Bandersnatch author beheaded his wife. The game gets its best review ever by this smug little jerk, 5 out of 5 stars, and it seems to be the best possible ending. We quickly find out how wrong that is, as the episode cuts to present day and explains that Stefan was quickly jailed for his father's murder and the games were pulled off of the shelf. In present day, Pearl Rittman, the very same baby Pearl we met back at Colin's apartment before the LSD trip, is developing the Bandersnatch game to re-release it in present day. In the millionth meta moment, we see that even Pearl isn't under control as we get to order her to either pour tea on her computer or destroy it. Either way leads to game over. Looping back to the chop or bury Dad's body decision, we go with the easier one on Stefan's sanity and ask him to bury his dad.
Okay.
Stefan receives a phone call from Tucker who asks about the deadline. Stefan can choose to say he'll have it done by the end of the day here, which does affect the next ending. Colin may be present here or not, but if you tell Tucker you'll have the project ready, you may be lucky enough to get through burying Stefan's dad uninterrupted. But either way, you are found out and end up in jail with another hard ending. The game never releases, the company goes under, and Colin is possibly missing. Looping back to the chop or bury choice, you answer Tucker's phone call quicker and just tell him he'll have the game by the end of the day. This doesn't reassure him, and at this point, he either sends Colin or Kitty ends up going to see Stefan and interrupt the burying process. Kitty asks Stefan where Colin is, and whether you tell her that he jumped or you don't know, you're still arrested for murder and led to the same ending where Colin is missing. If Colin shows up, you'll get the option to kill him or let him go. If you choose to kill Colin, you'll get a slightly different ending, as Colin is definitely dead here instead of missing, but Stefan is still in jail, Bandersnatch is never released, and Tuckersoft still goes under.
And there was no sign of Bandersnatch.
If you spare Colin, you get pretty much the same ending, only this time with Colin alive, but Stefan is still a jailbird. Looping back to the bury or chop option a third time, Stefan immediately hangs up on Tucker instead of talking. Tucker decides to go to Stefan's house, which is the same result if you originally told Tucker you couldn't meet the deadline. Tucker shows up and barges in to try to push Stefan into finishing the game until he realizes his problems just got a whole lot worse. This ending is pretty much the same once again, although this time Tucker has been murdered as well. Tuckersoft still closes its doors, and again no Bandersnatch game is released. Finishing off this part of the decision tree loops us all the way back to the family photo or book choice. This time, Stefan picks up the book and falls asleep with it. He wakes up to steal his father's keys to get into his safe. Here, depending on the pass you've already taken, you're given the options of passwords to open the safe. There are 4 possibilities. 2 of them, JFD and PAX, are the incorrect password. Putting in PAX will get you attacked once again by the creepy demon, and putting in JFD will get you a little JFD jump scare action here from Jeff Minter, the programmer who plays the author of Bandersnatch. Either of these choices will lead to Stefan waking up and ultimately going back to the 4th wall break to choose Netflix or the White Bear, which we've exhausted. The third and one of the best password options is the word toy. That brings Stefan back in time to the moment he made his mom late for the train. She asks him to go with her, and if he does, they both get on that train destined to crash. Stefan goes willingly to his death, and we see he has actually also died in the doctor's office, possibly ending multiple timelines or realities. This is considered to be another one of the best endings. Leave it to Black Mirror to have a mother and child die on a train feel like a happy ending. Who hurt you guys?
But you threw my son out of an airlock, so fuck you to death.
That's the end of part 2 of our Bandersnatch guide, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. You can now restart or skip to the final part of the video where we'll go over the last password for that safe that leads us to the phone number code, and as promised, we'll cover the secret ending and beyond. Did we miss any major decisions or choices? Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow us on Instagram at Binge Rampage. Turn on the notifications button for our channel so you can see our next video as soon as it comes out. Don't forget to subscribe, and Happy New Year!
He thinks he's got free will, but really, he's trapped in a maze, in a system. All he can do is consume. He's pursued by demons that are probably just in his own head.